They hit a brick wall so hard, it's jarring. It takes you out of the flow of the gameplay. It's not good. We've done a state of change, right? We've talked about things that BDO is doing wrong, but I do want to address some things that they do right, right? So this is the state of change that's doing right. And this is a conversation. It's very much a discussion. So going forward for the state of change, what I'd like to do is I'm going to outline my thoughts, right? I'm going to talk about them. I will then read the chat afterwards. So if you have a really strong point that you want to get across, I'll get to a point and I'll be like, hey, I'm going to read the chat now. And that's when you guys start nailing your points and outlining it. So if you hear me hit on a topic that you want to discuss, by all means, bring it up then. The state of change discussion always goes on YouTube. When it goes on YouTube, I find that a much larger discussion happens. The last one had a lot of really good comments in the video. So I'm hoping that we get the same reaction today. This time, I love discussion. I want you guys to have comments in those videos. So if you're watching this on YouTube later, don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, that being said, let's get on with the state of change. So things that the game has done wrong was the last conversation. Things that the game does right and the direction we'd like to see it take. Things that I feel like the game is doing right is obviously these PvE changes. I do like the idea that they're making the PvE changes better, right? I don't want them to necessarily make everybody just as strong as, say, like a Wusa, but if it comes between, like, do we nerf Wusa or do we make everybody stronger? In PvE specifically, everybody stronger is fine in my book. Here's the issue that BDO has when they make things stronger. They'll release the next class and they want to drive people to play that next class, so they usually overtune it. This is what happened with the Meguts, what happened with the Wusa. They overtuned it. And then we have a accelerated form of power creep that we experience as a game. I don't really like that. I don't think anyone really likes that. Power creep is good when it happens organically within the game's confines, like within, like, hey, we released a new book or released a new area and you can now grind that new area for some kind of drop, right? Or, like, you know, boots or something. That's good power creep. Bad power creep is artificial power creep created by a rebalancing of the game, because they're trying to bring classes up to speed with other classes. So what I'd like to see them do is continue this trend, but once they're done balancing the PvE metrics, bring up and rebalance the PvP metrics once again. Because I feel like PvP content is falling to the wayside a little bit, and that is still the mainstay of what made BDO a unique and interesting MMO. A lot of people who are looking at the game like, oh, I'm going to quit BDO because they changed the PvP changes. Let me remind you something. You're going to go to a different game, that's still not going to get you what you want. So you're just dropping one flag and picking up another. So keep that in mind. All you're doing is exchanging flags for something that you've already invested in on this game. Not a good system. What will be better is for us to continue having a dialogue, continue pushing for the changes we want to see. That being said, I kind of like the direction that we're going a little bit when it comes to Arsha PvP. A lot of people are starting to take Arsha PvP a little more seriously. They're getting their guilds involved. We're seeing roaming packs, which it's terrible for the PvE player and better for the PvP player. It's just not it's not good for a PvEer who's just trying to get their drops, because now they're getting their ass handed to them, and it's not really what it was designed to do. It's not really what Jay's change was in mind. I know that I have planned events that are going to go outside the confines of what the game allows. One of the events that I am planning is something I call Blood Moon, where I am planning on going red for like 2 hours on stream, and I'm going to do that once a month. And it's just going to be like, not just me, it's going to be like a straight up, all the hunters basically go into a Blood Moon and rage, and we're going to go do something crazy and just kill everybody for like 2 hours. And that's going to happen at some point once a month. I'll probably do it on stream because it'll be fun, but just some kind of variety content. Then we'll go grind for positive karma and then, you know, return to normal, so to speak, right? But it's something different. It's something in the game that's happening, that's event-based, that is taking place within the confines of what the game allows. And that's because we're in a state of change. We are currently in that state of flux now, where things are changing and we're all starting to realize there's a new normal in the game. I say new normal, but the new normal is still kind of what it was. Players have to make their own content. If you expect PA to make every bit of content for you, you're going to get very bored with BDO very quickly, because the content they provide is only a means. It's only an attraction in the theme park. It's not the theme park itself. Think of BDO kind of like a sandbox, right? Because we always say sandbox MMO. BDO, what they'll do, PA, they'll create attractions of that sandbox. So they'll create like a crane for you to play around in the sandbox. But if all you do is play with the crane, guess what? You're not going to enjoy yourself that much, because the crane is only so excited and it does get boring, right? You do want to do variety content. You do want things to be different. What's exciting is when they tell you these are the left and right limits of that sandbox, and somebody builds it vertically in a way that you never expect. That's what keeps the game interesting and hot, and it keeps it fun. What I'd like to see them do in the future is start changing the content in a way that affects both PvP and PvE, but I want them to speed up the classes that are slow. What I'd love to see them do is fix one, Nova Grab. Nova Grab is atrocious. It's the only grab in the game that is unprotected when it lands, but protected when it misses. That makes no sense to me. If you're going to have a standard where you want everyone to be protected, then make a standard. Don't make a standard for everybody but one class, and that one class makes no sense. So Suck Nova, I feel like, well, both Nova types, right? That should be fixed. Nova Grab should definitely be adjusted. Another thing I'd like to see change is punishment for missed grab animations. So many classes have grabs that miss, and they're not punishable. And I'm going to list out a few of them here, and if I miss them, I want you guys in the chat to let me know what I missed. All right. If you are a tamer, if you're an awakened ranger, if you're a Hashashin, and if you are a striker, awakened striker, if you miss your grab, there's no punishable animation. It's too fast. Whereas if you're a warrior, the punishing animation, or even a Zerker, is very long. Right? Those animations are long and can be punished and do get punished. So on that note, when I say I want to see those grabs become punishable, I don't want warrior grab to be buffed to be like theirs, right? Because warrior grab is very slow. Look at this. That's the whole animation. I'll do it in a second here, where I'll do it with an iframe so you guys can see that really closely. Look how long and punishable this animation is when it missed. Not just that, but the audio of a warrior grab when missed is very distinct. It sounds like a drum being slapped. So give me 1 second. So when a warrior misses his grab, it's a very distinct sound. It sounds like this, right? Look, and I'm gonna iframe right afterward just to show you guys how long it takes. That's a very long time for a punishable animation. So this is why when people say warriors or whatever, X, Y, and Z, they're the premier grab class. Our grab is extremely punishable, right? And it doesn't even go off as fast as other grapples. It goes off just as fast. So we have an ability called quote unquote instant grapple that activates at the same speed. So once again, for the visual, that's how long it takes for the warrior grab. That's how long warrior grab is punishable. I don't want my grab to be like a striker or ranger's grab. I want their grab to be like my grab. I want when they miss their grab that there's a nice long punishable animation to make it fair to everyone else. Because if you miss a grab, you should be punished. As a player, grapple is a very essential part of the gameplay. So missing that grab should result in you getting punished for it. Does anyone have a differing opinion? I'd love to hear. I say I can't grab with Awakened Warrior because it slaps my weapon. It swaps my weapon. Yep, it does swap your weapon. That's just baked into the kit. But that's most classes. If they do an ability in a certain kit, they're going to switch you to that kit. I think missing a grab should make you self-destruct. Rose City, what the hell, man? You just explode on the spot. Oh, that one got me. Missed grabs need to be punished, but not so much as it throws you from their combo or the flow of the fight. Right. So a warrior missing his grab is punishable and does disrupt the combo or the flow of the fight, and I feel like the other classes should match the warrior's grapple in that guard, because I feel like that's balanced. I think that's fair. If I miss my CC, you should be able to punish me for it. There's already so many classes with protected CCs, and giving them on top of that an impossible to punish grapple animation is absurd. I think there should be skills that counter grabs that do the punishing. Otherwise, missing grabs should be punished based on the circumstance. The problem with counter skills, right, is that what classes are going to get counter skills? And if all skills have counter skills, guess what? It invalidates the skill play. It invalidates baiting out a grapple and then getting caught in it, or baiting out a grapple and then countering somebody with your own grapple, and then just using a counter skill to break out of it. That's not very good balance. Everyone should either get a grapple resist penetrate on grab, or nobody should. It's stupid that we get stuff like 10 plus. If everyone has the grapple resist penetrate, then there is no grapple resist penetrate, Gwen. If everyone has it, then nobody has it. To me, it's nonsensical. It's stupid that we get stuff like 10 DP on grab for 5 seconds, literally worthless, while other classes basically get guaranteed grabs while also having multiple grabs. The second part, I agree with. The first part, I just don't. I think there should be skills that counter grabs that do the punish. FY, BDO Mobile has skills where you can't be grabbed. BDO PC is the same way. Their ability iframes. They're even damaging in CC sometimes iframes. It's absurd. The most egregious of which is Striker. BDO clearly said that they were not going to introduce more classes with protected CCs that are iframe CCs, but then you use 100% on a Striker and it does damage. And you can't touch him, you can't stop him, there's no skillful counterplay other than leaving the Striker alone to counter a Striker that's doing an ultimate. All right, that's not good gameplay design. Conversely, if you look at the Warrior 100% abilities or the Warrior, really the Warrior 100% ability is kind of useless, right? And there's other classes that have useless 100% abilities. Right now in the chat, tell me the class that has the most, that aside from Warrior, because I've already said it, what other class has a very useless 100% ability? Yeah, Nova, Succession Nova for sure. Their 100% is useless. Awakened Sage, Suck Valk. I wouldn't say it's useless, but it's not as good. It's not great. I agree, it's not great. I'll buy that for $1. I'd put Suck Valk on the list. What else? Awakened Sage, 100% does 0 damage, you just die during it. So Awakened Sage, Awakened Warrior, Succession Valk, Succession Nova, these 100% are useless and need to be brought up to speed. Let's say a Zerker's 100%, or a Striker's 100%, or a Corsair's 100%. Give us an effect on these abilities that make it worth doing. For a Warrior, ours just leaves us vulnerable. It doesn't do enough damage. It's a slow activating ability. It's not good. Stuck Guardians was cool for like 2 weeks and then nerfed it again. Rip. Archer, mainly because unless people are knocked over or stunned, they just do a pinpoint 100%. Awakened Zerker 100% is useless. Yeah, but it's true, probably. Awakened Zerker 100%. So these are things that they can fix. To bring it back on topic, we want to talk about things they do right. I'm not bringing up these fixes with the intention of crapping on the things that are existing. I want the things that they're doing right to match the things that they're doing not so right, not well, right? So if they're not doing something well, we can say, hey, look, you did well on this. For example, Corsair 100% has a heal on it. That's pretty good. I'd like that. You know, I would love to have a heal on my 100%, right? As an example. And it doesn't have to be just a heal. There's other effects that you can do. There's other team things that you can do to bring those 100% up to speed. And I feel like if they're doing that right with other classes, they need to spread that love to the classes that they're not doing it right. Other things that I feel like they're doing right is obviously they've done a lot of quality of life changes. They've done things like being able to invest energy from any character. That's great. What they need to do is be able to make it so you can go to the black market from any character. Because this is the same exact concept of inconvenience, right? Or they need to make it so I can invest my energy at a Lewiston from any character. Same thing. They did one thing right, bring it up to speed with the rest of the things you got to do right. Privacy mode is great. It's a great way to hide bells and other activities, but they need to enable a toggle so that you can turn off bell notifications outside of privacy mode. Because right now, the only way you can hide a bell is through privacy mode. All right, so just create a toggle that allows that to happen. Free stuff, doing great on that from time. Yes, I agree. I think giving away things for free that have been traditionally only available through the cash shop is a really good move. I feel like it's definitely something that they're doing right. It does make the game feel more honest when you say the game's not pay to win. Now I don't feel like I'm lying because it is at this point pay to convenience because you can get pets and you can get maids and you can get certain things. I think the only thing right now is kind of pay to win still is a tent, but there is a free version that's out there. So I feel like that's a lot better. That's definitely something they're doing right and a step in the right direction. They gave us players an extra inventory for all the extra stuff. Agreed. Once again, especially for a seasonal character, there's now more inventory slots than there ever was. Yes, I have ball salts with full energy. Unless I invest in a node, let me funnel that energy somehow. Exactly. I should be able to take that energy to a Lewiston and put that energy into a Lewiston, or I should be able to take it to the black market on any character and invest that energy on any character without having to physically bring that character over there. I agree with that completely. Make my alts valuable. Gathering minigame? Do you feel like adding more minigames like the gathering minigame has been beneficial for the game, Morbid? Or do you find them to be a chore? Chris, that's a very good point. Making energy more accessible does make the Kama Sylvia blessings more valuable, which actually benefits Black Desert Online as a whole because that is a premium purchase item. So I think the game benefits from that, and you as an individual benefit from that. Can we please get fatalities? That's interesting, actually. Chris, you laugh, but that's very interesting because you remember in Guild Wars 2 where you could finish a player on the ground? I feel like anything that would be a fatality would be really used mostly for BM. So I don't really know. There would be too much that would be required to change in the way the game functions for them to really implement things like fatalities. So nice idea, not realistic for this particular game. I want to talk about the things that you feel they're doing well and things that they specifically of the things you feel they're doing well. How can they spread those to other areas of the game that need attention? For example, they updated the rewards for Pit of the Undying, making it now valuable again. But what was something else that was dead content? Altar of Blood. It was such dead content that they removed it from the game. But that's because they didn't update the rewards. And then there was, what was that? Dark Rift? The I guess, tower defense type one? Shadow Arena? Shadow Arena is near and dear to my heart, Dracul. We'll never see it again. I would love for them to bring back Shadow Arena. Bring back Shadow Arena. That's number 1 on the list. Yes, DeBoy. Making old content relevant again, such as field bosses and often Tet dropping mythical feathers. That is a very good point, DeBoy. Right? And how can we use that same concept to spread to other parts of the game? We should be able to update things like, I should be able to use my horse Imperial training seals to purchase mythical feathers with, therefore giving me the ability to grind horses using horse training as a way to promote my horse enhancement skills. I wish PvP against high geared character players took a bit longer, like all would have a bit more HP. I think they're getting there. That's actually happening right now. And people are starting to find new ways to increase the one combo meta. I think down smashes need to be looked at. A 30% chance on a down smash is very difficult to overcome. It's either, it should be 100% with a diminishing return, or it should be not at all. Diminishing returns in general on CCs should be a thing. Yeah, because right now we're in a down smash meta, and down smash meta is just loss of character control. That's not necessarily great for the game. No one wants to lose control of their character for like 20 straight seconds while they just lay on the ground in a down smash chain from like say a lawn that's just chaining you on the ground. That's not good design. Gathering minigames are pretty great. It takes less time to gather now. Before you need to waste a lot of time to prep for cooking, minigames made it faster, better. I don't think adding tons of minigames would benefit the game, however. Yeah. So you like the addition of minigames, you just don't want them to overdo it. I think that's a fair assessment. More group grind spots. Majory, I'm going to back you on this one. I like more group grind spots, but I don't think they should make more 5 or 10 man spot or 5 or 3-man spots. What I'd like to see is a 10-man grind spot and a 2-man grind spot. And I want them to be some of the most valuable grind spots in the game. If you're going to make a 10-man grind spot, I want it to be in a zone that is free to PvP, similar to the desert region, right? Give the guild an activity to grind for, a 10-man grind spot, and then in addition to that, give me more 2-man grind spots that actually are higher in value than single-person grind spots that require some of the best gear in the game. Making me play with other advanced players that are all the way up there in their gear. I think those are good additions and good thoughts. We love our group grind spots. We love the fact that they added Decade of Turos. We want these to feel impactful and meaningful. You got Olin's. They should buff Castle Ruins, maybe. Give me something like Castle Ruins, where I have a mid-tier grind spot that offers better loot than other mid-tier grind spots in the same AP range. Remember at the ball from Mountain of Eternal Winter, they were designing the giant ogre spot that was going to be platoon-sized grind spot? I do not remember that at all, no. That's completely lost for me. Bring wyverns to the game that require 10 people to kill them. Like a gatekeeper type of wyvern, Majory? Oh, that's not a bad idea. Maybe the 10-person grind spot can be focused around giant monsters, not packs of monsters, but giant single monsters that work similar to the dungeon, where you have to do mechanics in order to successfully complete them, and each one requires you to engage the monster in a way that's meaningful. Make better dungeons that are giant horde groups and not just mechanic bosses. You know what? I think so. I think that's a good idea, Valicious. I actually like that idea. You want dungeons that like are, let's say, a 10-man dungeon that isn't just focused around, you know, the boss mechanics that require you to actually do some spank and tank. It doesn't feel necessarily like a field boss. Maybe it has some mechanics similar to perhaps Mudster, you know, but make it I think they kind of have that in guild bosses, but guild bosses are a bit of a joke. Exchange cappers for an item drop rate buff. I don't necessarily like that idea, and I'll explain why. I feel like there's a better way to approach Caphras. I feel like Caphras should go into Fallen God pieces. One thing that I would love to see is a set of Fallen God gear, right, that requires your Caphras, but instead of just requiring Caphras straight up, let's say for level 1, you need a new type of stone that drops in a new area, right? Brand new stone. And to level your Caphras gear up, you have to take 10 of those new stones, and each stone you combine one stone with 100 Caphras. So you need 1,000 Caphras and 10 stones to combine to create a item that will get your Fallen God gear from level 1 to level 2. And then level 2, you make it a flat 20 stones. So 20 stones and 2,000 Caphras. 30 stones and 3,000 Caphras. All the way up to 20,000 Caphras. Now all of a sudden your Caphras have continuing value and you have stat growth in your Fallen God gear. One of the things that we love about BDO is being able to invest in our gear in a way that's meaningful and continue to keep it meaningful to us. You think that would be a great idea? Gear progress sounds nice. I think that's one of the things that BDO does really well, is making your gear continuously feel meaningful as you invest further into your gear. Kind of feels odd that Caphras event aren't a thing for Fallen God already, to be honest. I agree. I feel like Caphras are quickly reaching a point where they're not very valuable. Because past getting your Nuver to C20, what do you need to have at C20 that is better, that is best in slot? Because a Dandelion isn't better than a Black Star at Pen, a Kazarka isn't better than a Black Star at Pen, and a Kudum is not better than a Black Star at Pen. So there's nothing better than having a Pen Black Star, so you don't really need to have a C20 item. And there's no armor pieces once we get the Ator boots that need to reach C20, and they're not better than Fallen God. That's the thing, they've made Caphras easier to get than ever. They've given it more places to drop from in larger quantities and lowered the value of it. So it's not a good endgame system. People do like having some kind of goal to chase for endlessly. That makes the gear progression feel meaningful. I think all of us like that. Part of why we play BDO, let's be honest. Fallen God armors out of boss weapons would work nice too. One thing that I feel BDO does really well is exactly what I just said, is making your armor that you've gained feel like it's growing in power over time. That's something the game does well, and the Caphras system that I proposed when Fallen God gear and kind of progresses that, furthers that. I've heard that people complain about gear progression getting smaller with the price difference getting bigger with the same amount of money from a grind spot that you could spend 30 gear score before your current. I agree with that completely. The gear right now is getting harder to get for fewer returns on your investment for a lot more money. Imagine if you're using weapons, collected souls, and you can use it for like a 10-minute buff. Like a PvP set? I think they've talked about having a separate set of PvP gear. And I am actually not on board with that idea. I do not like the concept of having two separate sets. I don't. I think more sets is not what this game needs. I think continuing to strengthen my main gear is what the game needs. We already have a PvP shield for DR users, and if you're an evasion user, it's actually cheaper because you only need one shield. I have friends that get full pen Black Star, but also get a C20 weapons, but why? What do they get for it? It's like 5 more human damage on a C20 Dandelion, but it's also like 20 less monster damage in PvE. So if you're going to invest all that much for like the 3 to 5 human damage, like who cares? It's really not going to make or break a fight. Not a worthwhile investment, right? You tell me you want to forget to swap your add-ons fairy set. Gambit, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought up the constant swaps. That we need presets or an entire gear. Like, I'm not talking about preset skills. I'm not talking about preset add-ons. I'm not talking about preset crystals. I'm not talking about preset artifacts. I'm not talking about my preset equipment. I'm talking about, I want to be able to click one button and go into my PvE complete preset. My pets, everything preset. The buffs that I have selected, I want one button that I can click to activate all my presets. And then I want one button to click to go back to my full PvP preset. My weapons, my gear, my equipment, everything needs to go back. Presets need to exist. BDO has done good to bring presets into the game. They need to do better to unify the presets for a specific purpose. I don't mind being able to switch out one set of gear for another set of gear. I don't mind being able to switch to different preset crystals, but I want to be able to save a preset loadout. That's what I'll call it. I would like to be able to switch to a preset loadout that switches everything over. That way I'm not remembering to do 50 different things before I go out and grind. BDO Mobile has that? That's nice. I wish BDO Mobile has a lot of things that are unironically better on mobile than they are on PC. A viable way to progress your gear with PvP. You know what, Gonzo? Fair. They've done well by making Node Wars more rewarding, right? But RBF is not rewarding and AOS is not rewarding other than personal glory. They do need to make those things more rewarding. They do need to make them as ways to not just get a little bit of extra experience, but give me some silver that I can grind RBF instead of grinding mobs, you know, at least somewhat comparable, make it comparable to at least a crummy grind spot. Shadow Arena was the viable way. True. Bring a PvP system, a matchmaking PvP system to the game that rewarded you the same way Shadow Arena did. Or just bring Shadow Arena back. All right. With that being said, we need set effects on Black Star weapons, like monster set effects. That wouldn't be bad. Yeah. Set effects on Black Star weapons make sense to me for monster damage. Make Shy Awakening weapon taggable. Is it harder to enhance a Shy Awakening weapon than any other weapon? If not, then yeah, it should be taggable. It's easier to enhance than it should not be taggable. If it's different at all, one way or another, it should not be taggable. Period. Until it's the same, it should not be taggable. I think there's a lot of good systems in mobile that would be awesome in BDO. Bring enemies and pursuit/follow list. I agree. I think the PvP system in BDO mobile is a lot better than the one in PC. In BDO mobile, if you kill a player, the kill and death ratio stays on your screen for the full week until reset. And if a player kills you, the game gives you free license to find that player in game. It tells you, it puts you on the server they're on, and you can auto path to them. I love that system. If a player kills you, flags up on you, there's no karma loss for a player doing that, but you can get revenge on them at any point in time, and I feel like that's a great system. I feel like that unironically would be really cool for BDO PC, because you have to opt in by flagging to begin with. The karma system needs a rework. Bandit status should be changed. Not sure why I can murder anyone anywhere in the world with no consequences, but the desert, it should be reversed, in my opinion. I feel like the best PvP system they could implement is actually similar to what New World has. Make it so that players are incentivized to flag up by increasing their drop rate on any server and making it so they gather more energy when they're outside the safe zones. And then you can only flag every 30 minutes inside of a safe zone. You cannot unflag once you've been flagged for 30 minutes. Like that's it. So you're flagged for 30 minutes until you turn off the flag after that 30-minute time cooldown. That way, everyone that goes out into the world that's flagged is opt-in, and you can only fight other flagged players on normal servers. Leave Arsha as it is. I feel like that's a good system. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of people kind of gave up after hitting C20 armor because pen accessories are daunting. I don't agree. I think people were still going for their pen accessories. It's just that C20 took a long time, and that's not a bad thing. You want things to take time like that. It'll put Shy on equal playing field, but also allow Caffers into the soul. I think BDO's intent with Shy is not to make it equal, to be fair. So until their stance on Shy changes, I don't think you're going to see that. They don't want it to be like every other class. They want Shy to be like this weird oddball. Let me put it this way. If you ordered French fries, right? And in your French fries, you get one onion ring. The onion ring is a Shy. It's designed to be the oddball. I agree with the flagging, but I think 30 minutes is too long. I think 15 minutes is more realistic, but people can, of course, stay flaggable. I think 30 minutes is just right. I think 30 minutes is just right, because it has to be a consequential decision. I kind of dislike the fact that we can downgrade accessories while using crons. I don't know, 0 out of 11, 10 deb. Ugh. Dishonor, I'm so sorry. Yeah, that's rough. But you know what? Dishonor, that is the gold sink of the game. So I actually don't mind it being that hard. I want it to be daunting. You want it, because I'm gonna tell you right now, if it wasn't hard to get and you got it, what do you do next? Let's say it was easier to get, right? Now you have pen debo, you got pen earrings, pen debo earrings, you got pen debo belt. What are you doing now? Nothing. You're done. Like it does. It's, you don't want that. You want that grind. You want some grinds to be much longer than others. I just don't agree with the way that it is right now. I don't agree with the grinds to get to this point being so easy that getting to this point is like hitting a brick wall with your face. Well, I mean, go from a seeable upgrade by capturing stuff into a wall of, well, my upgrade's only based off chance. Now, any wall-like upgrade is not good for the game. It's the same problem with seasonal players. They come off seasons and they hit a brick wall. They hit a brick wall so hard it's jarring. It takes you out of the flow of the gameplay. It's not good. It's bad. So completely agree. Oh well, Quirks, I'm glad that it's something that you look forward to and are encouraged by. That's something we want. You know, that's all I want to do, man. Is to make something exciting and different, and to just do something that we are not traditionally seeing a lot of. So if we're scratching that itch, then we're doing our jobs. And again, thank you guys for being a part of that discussion. I mean, y'all being in the discussion is what makes the discussion happen. And thank you for giving me the time to have that talk. I don't know how meaningful this is to you guys. I'm just guessing. But from the reactions that we got from the first state of change, I feel like it was a really, really warm reception. I saw people that even traditionally don't like the Skullman come out and want to have a conversation and have it in a meaningful way, and I love that. I do. I don't really care if you like me or don't, but if you want to participate in the content, I'm going to be very welcoming. We will do the next State of Change video probably coming up on Sunday. I meant to do this on Sunday stream. I just ended up PvPing the whole time, so I delayed it to now. But we will try and do State of Change videos every Sunday. I don't want to get into the habit of like discussing patch notes with these, because I feel like there's so many content creators that just discuss patch notes. I like the idea of using the stream to theory craft and maybe affect change in a different way. Not just to inform people of the changes that have been made, but let BDO know, let PA know what they're doing well and what they could do better, and let them know from the player's perspective. So on Sunday streams, look forward to that State of Change. All right, guys, that is, I think, kind of the end of my segment for the State of Change discussion for this week. I appreciate you guys for being a part of the discussion. We will do this again next week. I will try and continue doing these discussions. Like I said, I want to do these on YouTube. So when you guys see these on YouTube, by all means, follow me on YouTube, drop a like and subscribe on there. That way you could see these content when they get uploaded. And in the comment section, I would love to see your discussion points appear there too. And I would like to get dialogues going in those comments, because I know what I plan to do is take these videos and share them in the partner channel on the official PA Discord. So PA will get the ability to see these videos themselves. They will see the community having a dialogue and an intelligent discussion, and your comments might affect change. We don't know. This is uncharted territory for us. That's why it's a State of Change. So for those of you guys that participated, thank you so much.